Hi everybody, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm excited to show you some neat, cool, kind of tending towards masculine cards. We all struggle with masculine cards, right? And those guys, they're kind of hard to make cards for, but they love them as much as the women do. So I think you're going to love today's cards because they kind of have a little bit of a masculine slant to them. And I have 3 awesome cards to show you using the Scenic Wonders stamp set. This is on page 100. I'll show you that in just a minute. As you come on, let me know you're here. I'm going to make sure over here that my computer is all ready to go so that I can see your comments as you join me today. Here we go. So thank you so much. As you come on, let me know you're here. Every week, I give away the cards that I make on my Facebook Live the following week to people who have watched my videos. And sorry about the glare there. I have this quandary of wearing my glasses and having glare, or not wearing my glasses and not being able to see people's names, like Lori, who's here. Thank you, Lori. Thank you for coming. Hi. Thank you for joining me. Okay, so I have 2 winners from the last 2 weeks because last week I forgot to announce a winner. So Gina York, you're the winner of the chicken cards from 2 weeks ago. So thank you, Gina, for watching me. If you will PM me with your address, I will get these in the mail to you. And then the winner from last week's drawing was Kim Pickering. And Kim, I know your address, so I will send these to you this week, okay? So these were the chicken Hey Chuck cards. I don't know if you remember those from 2 weeks ago. These are the ones that Gina won. Super fun, right? You've got something to crow about, rise and shine, it's your birthday. Those were the Hey Chuck cards. And then I have the Timeless Arrangement cards. These were the beautiful cards that I had to do twice last week because the first time, Facebook was not cooperating. Oop, upside down, there we go. Your kindness means everything. And then, there we go. The sideways opening card. So Kim Pickering won those. So thank you guys both. And thank you for all of you who watch me every week. I so appreciate your support, even when Facebook isn't always cooperating with me. So thanks for that. I wanted to show you, we have a new kit that is called, let me look, I have a little note here, Blossom Wishes. And here we go. Here's the first card that you can make from that kit. And it's kind of hard to tell, but this white that's underneath here actually has some embossing on it. It's super pretty. You've got some little blooms. You've got this beautiful Orchid Oasis label and leaves. Those are some little pears. So cute. And, people love to know they matter. So sending someone a card that says you matter is something that will bring them a lot of joy, right? And then the next thing is this one, Happy Birthday. It has some peaches on it. Same with that Orchid Oasis. This is a label. So this is a non-stamping card, which some people love and some people don't. So the nice thing about these are super fast and easy to put together. No stamping needed. The cost is $13 for a kit to make 8. Now, I'm telling you, you can't go to Hallmark and buy any card for that price, right? So, happy birthday. And I love the size of these. And look at these fun Orchid Oasis envelopes that they go in. So, they would get mailed like that. I love this kit. If you're interested in this kit, it's called Blossom Wishes, and you can find it in my online store. So, all right. The next thing I want to talk about is today is the very last day to register for my first holiday card class of the year. I do one in July, August, September, October, November. I do 5. And at each Christmas card class, you make 8 cards, okay? So by December the 1st, you can have 40 handmade cards to send out to your very most loving, special people in your life. You don't have to send them to everybody, but your special people will want to get these cards. So I'm just real quickly going to show you. We're using the One Horse Open Sleigh paper and stamp set. Isn't that so pretty? This paper is gorgeous. And then this is a fun little easel card somebody can set up on their desk, and you actually write on the back. So you make 2 of each of those 4 designs. You also get a whole pack of embellishments, and you also get a whole 6x6 pack of the One Horse Open Sleigh paper. The cost is $35. I get the kit all cut and ready for you. I can send it to you in the mail, or you can come to my house. I have one in-person spot open for Thursday night at 7 p.m. So if you're interested in that, today's last day. You can get registered for that. If you go down below me, there's a link that you can use to register, or check your email, because I've been sending out the email link. Okay, now I'm going to take my camera and turn it down, and hopefully this will all cooperate with me. So give me just a second to get this all going here, and there we go. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? You know what? You never know. Hi, Judy. Thanks for coming in, for sharing. Okay, so the 3 cards that we're going to make today are, it's a little crooked. Let's see if I can straighten that up. There we go. For us, we're going to use the Scenic Wonder stamp set. Now, this is a distinctive stamp set. This is a type of stamp making that Stampin' Up! Has patented, and it gives some dark areas, some light areas, some gentle shading. It's beautiful. I love the sentiments in this set. So this is a standalone stamp set, okay? And then we're going to use several die sets. Okay, so first of all, let me open my catalog for you here. First of all, the Scenic Wonder stamp set is on page 100. The item number is 161755, and the cost is $26, okay? Now, I'm using several standalone standalone die sets. I am using one from this page. La, la, la. Maybe I'm not. Okay, let's turn the page. I'm using Something Fancy. I'm using Stylish Shapes. I am using the nested labels. Maybe that was the one that was over here, right here. Nested Essentials dies. I'm using all of those dies. So if you bought the stamp set and you added one of these die sets on, and they're all amazing. Oh, I'm also using the deckled rectangles. I'm using those as well. Then you would have plenty of money to get this card kit together. Okay, so we're making 3 cards today. I love them all. I love this one. It says, "So glad you're in this world with me." Isn't that so pretty? I love that. We're making this one, "Live Your Biggest Dream," except we're going to use a shaded spruce background, and we'll talk about that in a second. And then I have this super cool gift card holder. So it opens up like this, and then has a little pocket right here that you can tuck a gift card into. And it says, "Have a beautiful birthday," and then, "So glad you're in this world with me." I love that as well. Okay, so let's get started on these 3 cards. We'll start with the simplest one. I usually do that. And on this card, I used Pretty Peacock. Love it. Very pretty. But my intention in my head was to use shaded spruce that matched the trees that are in the stamped image here. And I'm excited to show you how I created those trees. So for the next one, and we can decide which way we like it better, okay? So I have a piece of shaded spruce, and it is cut 4 1/4 by 11, scored down the middle at 5 1/2. So that is my card front. I have a piece of the Earth and Elegance paper, and this is one that had a lot of pebbled path in it. It's kind of got this diamond hashing mark design on it, and it's going to go down here at the bottom. This is cut 2 1/2 by 4, 2 1/2 by 4, and then I cut a piece of pebbled path, and I ran it through with the, let's see if I have it right here. Maybe not. It's the set of embossing folders that come 3 to a pack that are in the online store. And look, it kind of has that same hashtag design on it. I thought these really coordinated well together. Okay, so I'm going to attach this piece from the Earth and Elegance to the bottom of my card right here. Just an equal amount at the bottom and the 2 sides, right like that. And then this embossed piece of pebbled path, I am going to adhere up here to the top. And you know, I don't like to adhere to any embossed piece because I feel like it presses the image out. So I'm going to just attach that right there to the top. Okay. Then I have a piece of basic white that is cut 3/4 of an inch. Yep. And I'm going to run it across the middle of my card right here. But before I do that, I'm going to stamp my sentiment on it. And I am stamping Live Your Biggest Dream. And I'm going to stamp that in Shaded Spruce. Live Your Biggest Dream. Kind of hard to see, so if my head's in the camera, I'm sorry. There we go. Perfect. All right. It always feels good when you get a card stamped well when you're on Facebook Live. Sometimes sentiments can be kind of hard, especially with you're under the pressure of a Facebook Live. So I cut it 3/4 of an inch long. I stamped it along the left side, and now I'm going to cut the excess off this other side right here. A little straighter than that. There we go. All right. There we go. All right. So there's my card so far. Super fast and easy, right? Now, I have a piece of basic white here that is, and I cut it thick. It didn't have to be thick. I just wanted the extra like support to it. And I am taking my stamped image, the one that has the trees on it here. All right, and I'm going to tell you what I did. I got my Pebbled Path ink pad. Okay, and I inked it up, really focusing more on the bottom and not worrying as much about the trees. Okay, it did get a little bit on the trees, and that's fine. And then I'm taking my Shaded Spruce, the brush end, and marker, and I'm brushing over the trees. I am making the trees Shaded Spruce. So the mountains will be Pebbled Path, the trees will be Shaded Spruce. I'm going to stamp that right in the middle right there. And look, isn't that so cool? How the trees come out Shaded Spruce, but the mountains come out that Pebbled Path. Hi, Renee. Thanks for joining me. So then I'm taking one of these Something Fancy die, and I'm using this largest one that kind of has this label shape to it. I'm going to set it right there on top of my stamped image. Add a little bit of tear and tape to hold it in place. And I'm going to go over here to my Big Shot and run that through. There we go. Voila. Okay, so now I am popping this up on the top panel of my card. This really is very masculine looking, isn't it? And I'm going to grab some dimensionals and pop this up on my card front. I think all of my cards today have something little extra to them that's a little different than what you might always do. So you guys might not know that you could color your stamped image with a marker. I'm gonna put that right there. Great, and then I have a piece of our Pebbled Path textured ribbon, and I'm going to cut a small piece and tie it in a knot. And I found the trick to tying your ribbon in a knot is to start it out, here I'll show you. You're going to start it out very flat. Make sure it's flat, okay? It's not twisted in any way. I always do the right over the left, and then take the top, pull it under, and pull. And you get a nice little kind of V-shaped knot like that when you do that, okay? And so I'm going to cut my ends off pretty short here. Grab a glue dot and attach it to the front of my card. So guide cards don't have to be super fancy. A lot of times I don't even put a ribbon on them, but I really liked this Pebbled Path ribbon on this card. Okay, I might cut that down just a little bit more. There we go. Now for the inside, let's just take a piece of Whisper White. I might need to cut that down just a hair. Make it 5 1/4 by 4. Now, I could take that same stamped image again. Once again, hi Dana, hi Renee. Thanks for coming on and watching me today. This is called Scenic Wonders. It is on page 100 of the main catalog, and it is my card kit to go for the week. Okay, so once again, I'm inking it up with the brush end, and you see I'm going sideways with my brush end. You don't want to go top because it'll crush it. We don't want the ink pens to be crushed, so there we go. And now I'm going to stamp that same image on the inside of my card here at the very bottom. So cool, huh? And then we'll just add that to the inside here of our card. And I think we're going to throw on some rustic metallic dots. Isn't that pretty? Rustic metallic dots on the outside here. So these are in the catalog. I think they're $7. And we can put, oh, I don't know where I just did that. We can put these wherever we want. So I'm going to put one right there. And I'm going to take 2 littles, no, maybe one bigger and one little, and put it up here in the top corner. Hey, Rhonda, so good to see you. Thanks for joining me. We haven't chatted in a while. Okay, so there we go. That is card number 1. Live your biggest dream, especially for those people who are very outdoorsy, right? No, I was late too, Sue. Okay, so I had to have my yearly mammogram today, which, you know, you guys know I'm a big proponent of avoiding breast cancer or catching it early, which is why I have a breast cancer fundraiser every year. It will be coming up in September. But it was so funny this morning. What do you guys think? Do you like it better with the shaded spruce, or do you like it better with the pretty peacock? I don't know. I think they're both awesome. Maybe you want both. I don't know. So there you go. That's card number 1. Let's move on to card number 2. Card number 2 is very similar to a card that I got in a swap. So glad you're in this world with me. I kind of gave it my own little take, but I love this card. I love the sentiment. So glad you're in this world with me. You like the shade. Sue likes them both. Renee likes them both. Rhonda likes the shaded spruce. Yeah, you know, either one would work. Okay, so, I love this card. Okay, so I can't wait to show it. Let me clean off this ink pad real quick so that I can use this block for my next Scenic Wonder stamp that I need it for. All right, and I think I'm gonna clean this one off, and that is all I used. Okay, so for this card, you need let me put this one up. We're gonna use the scene that has the big tree and a little pathway right here on the inside. We're going to use that stamp instead. And then we're going to use the long skinny one that says, so glad you're in this world with me. And we're going to use the birds, okay? We're going to use the birds. So we are starting with, let me pull my stuff out here. Put some things away. I know I don't need winter wheat, wild wheat. Why do I want to call it winter wheat because my husband used to live on a farm in Kansas and they grew winter wheat. So I think that's why I always want to call it winter wheat. Okay, so this is a wild wheat. You know, there's a lot of controversy around this color. I kind of like it myself. 5.5 by 8.5, scored down the middle at 4 1/4, and we're going to turn it horizontally here, okay? Then I got a piece of the fishing paper. Let's Go Fishing. It has these fish on the back. Aren't those pretty? That's boho blue, calypso coral, fun colors in that. But we're using this buffalo check, gingham check, and we're going to just place that right on the top. Now this is cut 4 inches by 5.5 inches. I wanted a little bit of the wild wheat to show in the top and bottom, but I wanted it to go from edge to edge, okay? So I'm gonna add this. To the front of my card, have it go from edge to edge, just like that. All right, now, this technique that I'm going to do on this card is called spotlighting, and I think you guys are going to love this. I think some of you may not have ever seen this before, so we'll see what you think of it. I have a piece of Very Vanilla that I cut, let me make sure I remember, 3 inches by 5.5 inches. So 3 inches by 5.5 inches. I want it to go fully from side to side, but still have some of that gingham showing out of the top and the bottom. Okay, I am going to ink this up in Mossy Meadow. So for this card, I'm using Mossy Meadow and Pebbled Path. Those are the 2 ink colors that I'm using. All right, I inked that up, and I'm gonna stamp it. Let me kind of get my head in here for a second, right in the middle of that panel, right like that. Isn't that, look at the detail on that. Isn't that just amazing? It's so, so pretty. Okay, so I'm gonna put that aside, And I know it seems crazy, call me crazy, but we are gonna get our Nested Essentials die, and we are going to take the second to the smallest one right here, and we are gonna cut the center out of that. Okay, we're gonna cut the center right out of that. It seems bizarre, doesn't it? But I'm gonna take it over here to my die cutting machine right next to me, and we are gonna die cut. Darn it, I got ink on my hand. I got a little bit on my paper, but we can get that off. You guys hate that when you have ink on your hand and then you get it on your paper and you're like, God damn it. All right. Okay, so weird, right? I just cut that right out of that center. Now what I'm gonna do, there's my little ink spot right there. I'm gonna use, I have a sand eraser here. I'm gonna use it right on that, right there, and see if I can get that little ink. You know, I lightened it up at least, I think. Pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna attach this to the front of the card with that hole in it. Yeah, I like this card too, Rhonda. It makes me happy. Okay, so right on the front of my card, right like that. Then I cut a wild wheat panel that is one size bigger than this, okay? It's one size bigger than this. So I used the second to the largest to cut my wild wheat paper out of, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna layer this piece. Oh, you know what? I think I should have cut a bigger size. I should have used the, okay, we're gonna do this over again. Do you think I can get this off of here? I'm gonna use my, I thought I had my spatula for my take your picture. We're gonna start all over. Let's start all over. I wanna do it well, and I want you guys to really see what this looks like. Okay, so let's start over. Now, I've got another piece here. I used to worry about starting over until I watched some bigwig Stampin' Up! Demonstrators, and a lot of them have to start over sometimes, so it's okay. I'm gonna take my piece of, see, I always cut extra just in case something crazy like this happens. Sorry, I should have used the next larger size to cut out my window on my card. Okay, I'm gonna, maybe you guys just needed a second chance here to see what I did. Okay, so Mossy Meadow, I'm gonna ink up my scene from my Scenic Wonders. This is the one with the big tree in the middle of it. Right there. Awesome. So pretty. And you know what? I don't have ink on me with that one. Now, I'm going to use the second to the largest to cut out my hole. Right here. Bring it over here to my big shot. All right. There we go. I'm going to attach this to the front of my card. Right there. Okay, now I cut the largest size of my Nested Essentials, this one with the curved edges, and this is the second to the largest. So I'm going to glue these two on top of each other. And then I'm going to cover up that hole by gluing this right on top of that. And see, it kind of gives the illusion that that seam is going all the way across. Gives a nice little border. This is called spotlighting. Spotlighting. I've heard it called telescoping too, but it can be either one. I'm going to put it right like that. Make sure it's really straight. There we go. Isn't that fun? Okay, now I've got a piece of our Pebbled Path jute twine. It's pretty thick, and I felt like it was too thick to tie what I wanted to. So what I'm doing is I'm taking this jute twine and I'm pulling the fibers apart on it. There are 3 strands here, and I'm just gonna pull them apart. Let's see if I can get this one all the way down. I used to have to do this when I did cross stitch, when you're pulling the cross stitch threads, and sometimes you use 1, sometimes you use 2, depending on what you're making. Okay, so here's one, and then I'm pulling apart another one because I want them to be kind of loosey-goosey here. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to tie this in a bow. There we go. I'm going to pull that kind of small. There we go. And then I'm going to pull these loops kind of apart like that. Okay? I'm going to cut this way down. And I'm going to use a glue dot and attach this right here to the bottom corner right here. I'm going to attach it right there. And I'm kind of attaching it sideways because I want the loops to show the top and bottom of my little label here. All right, then I have a piece of Very Vanilla that is 1/2 of an inch, and I went ahead and cut it like 5 inches long, but we're going to cut it down. And I have my sentiment, and this time I'm using Pebbled Pink. And you know what I wrote? Pebbled Pink. I forgot to add my little bird, so let's do that real quick. Let's put one right there. Put one in here. And one kind of off to the side over here. There we go. All right, so this says, I'm so glad you're in this world with me. I love this sentiment. And when you guys see me stamp this, you're going to be like, oh, her stamp is crooked. No, my label is crooked. My stamp is fine. So I'm going to stamp this right on this label right here. Oh, I messed that up. Let's try that again. See, I cut an extra. So glad you're in this world with me. I think the hardest stamps, good night, I didn't have any trouble with this. Let me flip it over, try one more time here. I didn't have any trouble with this when I made my card. I think it's because I'm on camera and I'm nervous. So let's see. Jeez Louise, okay. I'm wondering if I get my mat out here, if that will be helpful. So I'm going to grab my mat, ink it up with Pebbled Path, not Pebbled Pink, Pebbled Path, okay. Still cut a little edge there. I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to practice over here at the side. Perfect. Okay, let's try one more time. Good night, you guys. I don't know what's happening here. Try it on a bigger piece and then I can cut it down. You know what? I'm going to clean the whole thing off and start all over again. I made 2 of these cards to practice, and neither one of them did that. So I don't know why it's doing that now, but we'll try again. Good. There we go. So glad you're in this world with me. I'm going to cut that down. There we go. I'm going to cut it straight off right here to the side. Straight off right here. And I did something, sorry if you hear that noise, that is my dog who's had a chronic cough that we can't seem to figure out what's going on with. And let's see if I can pull him out to the hallway here. Okay. Now, because this is so bulky right here, I'm going to put 2 dimensionals on top of each other. Right here, and then right here. I'll layer those up, and then right here. And put that right across the front of my card right there. I might do it a little bit higher than that. I kind of want that label to show through there. At the bottom. There we go. So glad you're in this world with me. And then I took those same rustic dots and I put a large right here and then 2 littles. There we go. So cool, huh? Okay, so now for the inside. I've got a piece of very vanilla. And I'm going to do exactly what I did on the last card. I am going to stamp just the edge of that Scenic Wonder. They are hard, Sue. I agree. But, you know, like I said, didn't have any trouble till I get onto the live, and then, you know, as fate would have it. And I think, you know, when you're on live, here I am, I'm stamping upside down, right? So that is going to go in the inside of my card and create a little scene that mirrors what we had on the outside. All right. The last card is very cool, so hang with me here, and I will show you it. So that is card number 2. Isn't that fun? I like that spotlighting technique that they used there. Very much a masculine card. I mean, I think it could go either way, obviously, but what's nice is when you have cards that you know for sure would work well for men, right? Okay, so, so finally, my Amazon Prime guy is here. So I got a notification saying my stuff was going to be delivered on Friday. Then they said, oops, sorry, it'll be here on Saturday, which, you know, was Lucy's birthday party, and I had ordered her some things. And then they were like, oh, sorry, it won't be here until maybe Monday or Tuesday. So it looks like he's finally here, which is good news. Actually, I'm going to keep that on there. And my next card is the one that is the gift card holder right here. I love this card. It has a little pocket right here. You can put a gift card in, and super fun. So let's put this one together. All right. Grab my envelope with all my stuffs in it. So this card base is sorry, my dog. I need my husband home so he can entertain my dog. Okay, so it is cut at 5.5 by 8.5, but I scored it differently. I scored this one at 3 inches and at 7.25 inches. 3 inches and 7.25 inches. So that way the middle panel here will be 4.25 by 5.5, which is what we want our card to measure, okay? So I'm gonna fold both of those in to the inside here. This is a pretty peacock panel, pretty peacock. Make sure that that is really straight right there and that they meet right where they're supposed to, right like that, okay? So for this one, I'm actually going to start with the inside of the card. So I have a piece of basic white that is cut 4 by 5.25, or it should be. So let me cut this down just a tiny little bit here. I must have cut these at 4.25 by 5.5 instead of 4 by 5.25. So the inside panels, I typically will cut them 4 by 5.25. Let's see. Perfect. So that's going to fit right inside that, okay? But before I put it inside, I want to stamp. Here we go again with my long skinny stamp, but I'm not trying to fit it onto a skinny label here. So maybe it'll treat me a little bit nicer. I'm stamping it in Granny Apple Green. Granny Apple Green. So right here in the center. Beautiful! Look how well that came out that time. Okay, and then I'm going back to my birds, but this time I'm going to stamp them in Pretty Peacock. Can't remember if I did 2 or 3. I just did that. Okay. I'm going to attach this to the inside of my card right here. Almost did it upside down. Okay, so you want it so the small panel is at the bottom. Okay, and then we are going to pop that up, and we're only going to adhere Seal or Seal Plus, whatever you want. I would use Seal Plus because you really want this pocket to hold, and we're going to fold that up to create that pocket right there. Okay, then I have a piece of DSP. Now, I was going to make you guess, but I just showed you. Darn it. This DSP is one of the back sides of the Daisy DSP, which is an awesome package of designer series paper. But we're using this because it has in it Pretty Peacock, and it's a garden green, but honestly, I felt like it looked a little bit more like Granny Apple Green. So I'm going to attach this to this front pocket right here kind of right in the middle, right like that. Might have a little edge hanging over like 32nd of an inch. Okay, so there we go. So that creates my pocket that the gift card is going to go in. Now, for the front of my card, I think this is fun. I cut a panel with the deckled rectangles, and I'm using the second to the largest one. Same paper, deckled rectangle, okay? I cut another one in white that is exactly the same size as that one. And then I cut a larger one in white as well. So I used the largest deckled rectangle, the very largest one, and then I used the one that is the next size in, the second to the largest one. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is attach this to the front of my top panel, but I don't want it to attach to my bottom, okay? So I'm just gonna focus on about the top 3/4 here of my Whisper White deckled rectangle. And I'm going to put it on right like that. Okay, then I'm gonna go to these two panels, okay? This one I will put on in just a little bit, but I'm going to wait just a second. Now I am using the panel from the Scenic that has these tiny little trees right up here. So let me remove this one from my block and attach this one. Okay, so fun technique here, and I'm sure you guys have seen this before, but I am using this with a sponge dauber, and I'm using Granny Apple Green and Pretty Peacock, both. Okay, so I'll show you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna ink this up in Granny Apple Green. Ink the whole thing up in Granny Apple Green. Nice little inking on it there. And then I'm taking my sponge dauber. Can't remember how many you get in a package of these, maybe 4 or 5. And I'm taking Pretty Peacock, and I am just inking up just the very top edge and the trees, very top edge of these mountains and the trees. All right, just adding a little ink to those that top section. And then I'm going to stamp this. I'm gonna huff on it because it might have gotten a little dried out. And I'm gonna stamp it right in the center of that white panel. Ah, ta-da! Isn't that so cool? How it just really gives a nice variation there to our inked image. I just really love doing that. Okay, and then I'm gonna get those birds again. My Pretty Peacock. And I'm gonna stamp some birdies flying over the top here. There we go. Okay, super fun. So now what I wanted to do is I want to turn this a little bit like that so that just touches of that green pop out from behind this white panel right here, okay? I just want some touches of that green to pop out. So I'm going to adhere these together right like that. Okay, and then this, isn't that pretty? This is going to pop up using dimensionals on the top of that other white panel. Now, I was trying at first not to have to use this white panel, but it really, that DSP really needs something behind it to help it pop. And don't know if I want it that low because we don't want it to touch the bottom of our, I think that one probably would have been fine, but let's better be safe than sorry. So I'm adding dimensionals just to the top 2/3 of this panel. There we go. So anyway, I had to have a mammogram today. It's just nothing serious, just my yearly checkup. And when I woke up this morning, I said, I have my mammogram today. I said that to Jim, and he said, oh, are you looking forward to that? Does any woman look forward to a mammogram? I don't think so. So I had to laugh about that. I'm like, you've obviously never experienced a mammogram before, because I think they're pretty terrible, but important, right? Okay, so this is a piece of that wavy trim. It's part of that Earth and Elegance suite, and I just love it. Just tons of texture. And what I'm doing is I'm gonna take this and some of my glue dots, and I'm gonna add a glue dot to the end, to about the middle, little middle right, little middle left, and then the other end. So I put 4 glue dots on the end there, and I'm just going to grab this and just run it right across the bottom edge of that white panel. Isn't that so pretty? Okay, so one last thing to do on this card is my sentiment. Okay, looks like I'm going to have to punch it out. Okay, so my sentiment says, have a beautiful birthday. So I'm going to get a piece of Whisper White. I'm going to stamp in Pretty Peacock. Have a beautiful birthday. Have a beautiful birthday. Here we go. So pretty. And then I'm going to die cut this out with this smallest of the Nested Essentials dies. Thanks, Chels. All right, so I'm going to put that right there. I don't really need all this extra cardstock, so I'm going to cut that off. I'm going to run this through my die cutting machine, which is right here next to me, and then we're going to pop that up over that wavy trim. Right like that. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, so I'm going to add, now I decided I really like this skinny little edge around the bottom of my dimensionals, because I just want like a little piece of dimensional at the top there. And then, so I did about 3 sections, 3 of those little V sections. And to the bottom right here. And then that is just going to sandwich right over that wavy trim. And then I have my Tinsel Gems 4-pack. So there's a 3-pack and a 4-pack. And I liked this one because I really liked that. It's almost that lemon lime green, but I thought it looked really cool with this card. So I'm taking a medium and a small, putting it right there. And then I've got another medium that I'm putting, I might put it right like that. What do you guys think? Do you like this gift card? So let me bring out all my cards. Gift card holder was this one. So fun, isn't it? I love that. I just think this one has tons of texture, tons of color, and a nice little pocket there for the gift card. So there was card number 3. Here is card number 2, which is that spotlighting technique there. And then this is card number 3, where we originally did it in Pretty Peacock, but then today I did it in the Shaded Spruce, and I think I like the Shaded Spruce better as well. So this is the kit that you can get for any order of $35 or more by Saturday. I'll send you the kit to make 6 of these cards, just like this. But you need to have the Scenic Wonders stamp set, and I will send you everything else. I can't stamp things for you. You have to, and if you're going to be placing an order anyway, why not get the stamp set, right? So let me pull the camera back up here so I can say a nice goodbye to all of you. Thank you so much. As you know, I'm always honored that you're here with me, and I appreciate you coming. And we'll see you next Monday. Gosh, July is it's already halfway over, right? What happened? I'm so glad I'm not going back to school this year. I don't have to worry about it being, if I were going back to school as a school counselor, I'd have a week of summer left. That's all. But now I have a lifetime, right? Lifetime of stamping and coming with you. So, give me your hearts, give me your likes. I love your comments, and have a beautiful Monday. God bless everybody. We'll see you soon.